But yeah, 7 o'clock Eastern, like, that's a good hour off what they normally do.
Yeah.
It's good stuff, though. It looks good, so I'm pretty excited to get into it. So just as our kind of beginning banter or whatever that we usually do while we're waiting for people to get in here. So less than 9,000 people have completed Spire of Stars so far.
That doesn't surprise me.
That is insane to me. Freaking, I mean, because you've done it 5 times. Everyone's done it 5 times. I've done it 6, but it's like that's insane that all of us have completed it that many times. When I mean, less than 9,000. If you think that if you think about how the Destiny community is millions of people, right? Like 9,000 people less than have experienced beating the raid. That's right now we're in the top 0.001%. Like, what? That's crazy to me. Yo, what's up, everyone in chat? Welcome. And just for everyone in chat, a comparison from 6 days after King's Fall launched, they did This Week of Bungie, and they announced that I think it was 88,000, nearly 89,000 people had done that raid that week, had completed King's Fall. So in like triple that time, 1/10 of the people have completed Spire of Stars, which that's just insane to me. But I mean, it's a fantastic raid. I really hope people get around to doing it because it's definitely well worth it, in my opinion. It's a lot of fun. Alrighty, I guess we can go ahead and start. So the first thing, I guess I should say, hello everyone, welcome. This is the Last Word, the weekly news recap discussion show that I do with my co-host JZ Basketball.
Sup?
Woot woot. And yeah, so we have a couple of things I want to discuss that are not part of the TWAB this week. The first thing was the raids. The second thing is something I want to do a video on, so I'm going to kind of test the water of the comment section here. It's going to be the exclusive Iron Banner emote that is not available in Iron Banner. It is exclusive only to Eververse. And I find that personally not too great. Like I said, I want to do a video. I want to really expand on that more. But I just want to see, what you guys are thinking about that. And Jay-Z and I have talked about it, but Jay-Z, go ahead and recap your overall thoughts for the stream about that.
So the locking an emote behind payment is not only what so many people had problems with before, but it's an exclusive Iron Banner emote on top of it.
Yeah.
So not only are you locking an emote, but it's limited time probably with this Iron Banner event, and you have to. It's $10. Like if you're gonna make an emote exclusive to an event, make it like $250, maybe $4, maybe like not even $5. Like $5 is still like pushing it, but like it's just an emote, and you get so many of them. Like it's not even like that great.
So
it's all right.
I agree with pretty much everything you just said. I think the difference for me lies in I don't really mind them selling emotes directly.
No, I don't mind that either. Yeah.
My main problem is, like you said, 2 things. The fact that it's Iron Banner and we don't get it from Iron Banner. You know, if it was the selfie emote, I don't care. I wouldn't buy it, but I don't care. They can sell it all they want. And 2, the price point. That's some Fortnite level bullshit right there with the $10, $11 emote. Like, come on, really? Seriously? Like, think about this, right? I mean, we both easily have put in 100, 200, maybe even 300 hours in this DLC already, right? And it was $20. Like, you're valuing this emote at half of this DLC. That seems a little bit off to me as well. Yeah, welcome everyone that's just joining us. We're just intro talking about the Iron Banner emote. I think it's a cool emote. It's not the greatest. I'm sure as hell not buying it. I hope Bungie makes reprimands and they refund everyone who bought it and they put that in the loot pool, and then from now on they can sell exotic emotes. I have no problem with that. They've been selling exclusive exotic ships since the beginning of the game, but they can't be themed, right? They can't be end game activity themed. They have to be super unique. An emote that you're charging $10 for shouldn't have to use an end game as kind of like an eye catcher, I guess. What's really interests me about this is I would have, if I was Bungie and I was going to do something like this, I would have done it the other way around, where Iron Banner, that emote came from Iron Banner, but the Callus emote came from Eververse, and you could buy that directly for $10. Because I think A, a lot more people would buy it there, and B, a lot less people do the raid, so I think that would open it up to more people personally. But I guess I probably shouldn't be giving Bungie scummy advice, huh? Bottom line, like I said, I'm gonna work on a video, compile your thoughts, and go. I really want to dig deep and get some statistics and stuff, but bottom line, probably shouldn't be doing it, and that's it. Yeah, so speaking of Iron Banner, have you played Iron Banner, JZ?
Yeah, I've played probably about 10 matches or so.
Okay, what do you think about Bannerfall?
I enjoy it. I like it. It's fun.
So the one main change they made to the map, the back heavy on the B flag is now like a proper hallway. Such an awesome change, because it changes it from a 2-lane map into a 3-lane map. And even though the third lane's like really skinny, it's fantastic. It's a really well done hallway, and it's good for flanks and stuff. I'm glad, like, when they brought Burning Shrine back, they kind of like compressed it a little bit. It's a little bit shorter in a lot of the areas. With Bannerfall,
yeah, especially outside. Like, you walk like 20 feet out, and you're like, it's counting down for you to basically because you're hitting the boundary of the map. So that's way better. Yeah, absolutely. And Bannerfall's like a 1-to-1 aspect ratio. And another change, the bottom tree has been cut down, so the two alleys can see each other. And that is such a fantastic change. I really like how this map plays. I'm convinced, like, people were at the beginning of Destiny 2 were like, Destiny 2 slow, blah, blah, blah. Playing on this map and comparing it to how I used to play in Destiny 1, we are most certainly faster than we were in Destiny 1. Like, there's no question in my mind, because I'm just hopping all over the place. It feels really good. They did a fantastic job with the map. The soccer ball's still in there. That's something that I personally really enjoy, just some funny small stuff like that. But yeah, that was a really cool thing that they implemented. So the next thing they talked about is Escalation Protocol. If you guys don't know, there's a lot of controversy going on, especially on the Reddit with Escalation Protocol, because I can't say I haven't done this myself, because I definitely have multiple times. People are inviting random people to their fire teams to help them out get into a 9-man escalation, and whereas I offer, I'm like, look, guys, you're helping me out. If you ever need help, just hit me up, shoot me an Xbox Live message or whatever, and I'll get back to you, and we can try to help you through a raid or something. A lot of people are just like lying to them, saying they can participate, and then kicking them, and it's promoting this really toxic behavior and kind of stuff. So Bungie said that they're looking into Escalation Protocol and to see how they can make things better. So here we have some designer, Jacob Benton, talking about this. So he was asked, what were the design goals for Escalation Protocol? Jacob says, Escalation Protocol was designed to be a high difficulty end game activity for a max level 3-player fire team. Now that's really interesting, because I don't see 3 people doing it. No,
okay. I know Gigs just 3-manned it, and if I'm not mistaken, they farmed the hell out of Heavy for it. So I don't see how like a normal like 3-man fire team at maximum light can just hop in there and do it. You won't have enough resources. That's crazy to me. He goes on to say, other players in the world can contribute to make it easier, but they shouldn't be required as long as your team is highly skilled and coordinated. We have received a lot of feedback since the original launch of Destiny 2 that players felt like reaching maximum power level was not satisfying. There weren't enough activities that required and rewarded that level of commitment. Escalation Protocol was designed to fill that gap. I do want to say, Escalation Protocol has been fantastic at filling the gap. It's a lot of fun. It gives us something to grind for that's a little bit more attainable than like a raid. Repeatable farming activities too. You can't, like, there's no limit, like 3 times per week or whatever. If you want that sniper rifle, you can grind as many times as possible. I personally don't see a 3-man fire team beating it consistently, but that's just me. And yeah, it's pretty good. So there's a couple other questions he's asked here, but before that, Jay-Z, do you see any glaring problems with Escalation Protocol other than how difficult it is to get into a fire team right now?
I would say that's the main. I mean, because we spent an hour trying to get, into a fire team the other night, and we could have done like a raid or anything else, and we actually never even started because people started dropping, and then like by the time we finally got somebody, it was 45, 50 minutes in, and then we couldn't find any other players.
Yeah.
So, no. The escalation protocol itself, I think, is fine. I don't know how in the heck you're supposed to beat it with 3 people consistently. Like you
we can't get past level 3 with 3 people. So
they need to have something where you can at least get where you can invite multiple fire teams into the instance, because that's just, you want people that you play with, like your raid team, and then like 3 other people from your clan or whatever.
Yeah.
But yeah, I don't know if that answered your question, but that's...
No, that's good. I that's what I was looking for. I agree. Maybe so on the map, you can already click on Escalation Protocol and it tracks it. Instead of that, when you clicked it, maybe if it brought you to like a Prison of Elders style instance where you were just in your own little bubble there, I think that'd be a lot better. Mm-hmm. I'm not a game designer. I don't know how hard that would be to code or to make that happen with server space and all that. But if they want honest feedback, I have more fun. Even if we could do it with 3 people, I have had more fun running it with 9 than definitely trying it with 3. It's so chaotic. There's a lot of stuff happening. The frames dropping is actually really funny. It makes for a good time. I think that it should have been balanced around 9 people. I feel like it was. I feel like it's a good difficulty, but they need to promote. We talked about this with the going to the tower to get emblems and stuff. Anything that you have to go out of your way to take time out of game time is bad. So they need to promote more clear, concise, smooth gameplay, and Bungie needs to be able to say they're going to want to load into this very specifically with their friends. And it's not like they haven't had precursors to this. That same thing, we have done that same thing with both Archon's Forge and Court of Oryx. We have gotten full 9-man fire teams in there. And so I feel like they should have seen that coming. But, so they go on to ask, so this activity was not specifically designed for 9 players, and Jacob responds, other than raid activities, all PvE activities in private spaces are optimized for 3 players to allow for multiple types of activities in a space. So no, it was not designed for it, but it's not a surprise that it's easier with 9 players given how underleveled most of us are right now. We knew that players would use these same creative workarounds to get 9 players into a space similar to Court of Oryx, but we did not specifically tune the difficulty around requiring that many players. I'm glad he addressed what I just said there, so that's pretty cool. And the final one, any plans to enable larger fire teams in the future? Jacob says, we've had a lot of conversations here about what to do to answer the community's feedback. We're going to continue to monitor as more players progress up to maximum power and are able to attempt Escalation Protocol at the difficulty it was designed for, and we will determine what, if any, action is necessary. We also hear players that are really enjoying large groups of players fighting against enemies, so we'll use that feedback to inform our future plans. I mean, that just covered everything that I said, so that's pretty good. I think one other thing that should be changed is the key system from Anna Bray. I don't know why you can't just turn 7 Rasputin keys into an Escalation Protocol key like in your inventory. That doesn't make any sense to me. I hate when they make me go to an NPC for no reason. So I wish that didn't do it. But other than that, do you have anything to add on top of that, Jay-Z? I mean, they pretty much covered everything.
Yeah, that was pretty well written.
Yeah. Bungie's getting a lot better at being like, what are they gonna ask? I like that. I like that a lot. I have mad respect for that. All right, the next one is what I'm personally really excited for. Different armor updates that we're going to be getting in early spring, or early summer and midsummer. It's going to be a 2-part update, updating exotic armor for the different classes, and just essentially what they just did with the weapons, but for the armor. So they say, we kicked off the beginning of Season 3 with changes to exotic weapons. What about the armor has been a popular question. Today we are going to start to answer it. This is the very first wave of changes, and the next are currently slated to come in July. This is Victor Anderson, and he's going to be talking about it. So Victor says, we have received a lot of feedback on exotic armor in Destiny 2. With 1.2.0, we introduced changes to exotic weapons to make them more punchier and more compelling. And with the 1.2.1 release, we are taking steps to update some of the existing exotic armor. It's my hope that the changes to exotic armor I can talk. I swear, guys.
Words.
I know how to talk. No. It is my hope that the changes to exotic armor will result in more interesting choices whether you're doing a strike or going for wins in the Crucible. When deciding to update the exotic perks, our goal was to keep the identity of the exotics the same, even if the way they influence your playstyle is slightly different. Exactly what they did with the weapons. They did a fantastic job with the weapons, so I'm sure they'll do a great job here. With the release of 1.2.1, we are updating 6 pieces of exotic armor, 2 for each class, and we will be updating more in the future. Please note that any mechanical changes are in addition to the already established effects, unless explicitly stated otherwise. That's pretty cool. So Titan, the first one, Synthoceps, which are already really good. So that's interesting that they're changing them. Mechanical changes. Previously, the perk adjusted your melee damage depending on the number of enemies surrounding you. Now it grants a flat bonus to melee and super damage when you are surrounded by 3 or more enemies. The buff is retained for a short duration after you are no longer surrounded. So it essentially gets the surrounded perk. Although Synthoceps has gotten a fair bit of love in the Crucible, players are often focused on the increased lunge range. The outgoing damage bonus was hard to appreciate and plan around with it being so variable in nature. With this change, you will be able to feel the impact more often in all scenarios, particularly in PvE. Oh, that's a pretty good change. I actually had no idea that the Synthoceps made you do more damage, and I wear them all the time. So it just shows you how much I pay attention. It's a pretty good change, though. I think I'm definitely more of a fan of like flat statistical things than random variable. Yeah. So I like that change a lot. Lion Rampants, this is one I haven't seen anyone run in months. Mechanical changes, you can hip fire while lift is active without interrupting it, and your aerial hip fire doesn't have an aerial accuracy penalty. Okay, well, they just became top tier exotics. The Lion Rampant was focused around the lift and how it impacts your playstyle and tactics, so we decided to push it further in that direction, emphasizing fast movement aerial assault. That's pretty good. Yeah, I don't really have anything else to say about that.
Yeah, I mean, like they were like fun to put on at first when you first got them, but like they were pretty much useless after that because it's like, what activity do you actually use this for? So
yeah, it's going to be a very heavy Crucible one now. I mean, the fact that you can continue your jump while shooting is something we don't have in Destiny, and that it eliminates the in-air accuracy penalty. That's pretty cool as well. That's a huge topic of discussion in the community right now. Everyone hates it. So it's cool that they're addressing it, and in a way that it makes exotics feel more exotic, which is, that's all right. All right, so for the Hunter, we have the Dragon Shadow. Mechanical changes, dodging reloads all weapons simultaneously. The effects of Wraith Metal Mail now also include a bonus to mobility. Although the Dragon Shadow does have a small following, we wanted to make it more useful in a general sense under even neutral conditions, while keeping in the theme of a fast-moving ninja. That's all right. You know, nothing huge there.
Yeah, it could help, like, say you're in, because I think more PvP focused. So, like, you unload all your weapons into a boss, and then you just dodge, and it reloads them all. So you have that rocket, and then now your primary and secondary are reloaded as well for when you start fighting the enemies again. It's just a little bonus, but, like, why would you use that over the Celestial Nighthawk?
Yeah, that's exactly what I'm thinking. Like, why would you use that over the Celestial, the Raiden Flux, the Stompies, the pretty much anything? So that's really interesting. It depends how big of a bonus it gets, but I guess we'll see. And then the next one are Mechaneer's Trick Sleeves. Mechanical changes, swapping to a sidearm while critically wounded greatly increases its damage. That's gross, okay?
Yeah.
We went for the fantasy of a holdout weapon, a pistol tucked into your sleeve that you pull out in an emergency to save you. These changes should let you turn around a fight more easily. I don't even want to know, okay? Sidearms are annoying enough. Can you imagine a Last Hope buffed because you're low on health? That's going to be gross. I'm pretty excited to try that one out. And then the 2 for the Warlock, the Lunafaction Boots, which were already pretty powerful. That's interesting. Mechanical changes, the Rift reload is automatic instead of being activated on entry-exit.
Good.
Empowering Rift makes weapons more effective at extending ranges.
Okay.
Okay.
Those are going to be top tier for raids now.
For raids, you never... Oh, can you imagine, like, on a Callus plate, Titan barriers are gone. You don't need them anymore.
Well, just that and the skulls.
Oh, and the skulls. Oh, my God.
Because now, like, either you had a Titan or you had nothing. So now you have a chance of getting a Titan or a Warlock in there, and
Yeah.
it being viable. Those just turned into top tier PvE.
That's so weird. That's such a great change, but wow. And then the Empowering Rift makes weapons more effective at extended ranges might not seem like a big deal to a lot of people, but on encounters like Argos, or Valkor, even where you are far enough away where the range does drop off quite significantly. I mean, everyone runs Empowering Rifts in those things, so I mean, that'll help quite a bit. That's very interesting. It says players having to dip in and out of the Rift to reload their weapons was not consistent with other Rift effects, particularly with the Overshield effect on Healing Rift. It's been made automatic to easier understand and use, as this is more of an offensive choice in terms of Rift exotics. We also wanted to further reward players who want to double down with Empowering Rift instead of playing it safe with the Healing Rift. That's a good change. That's a solid change. And then the final one, Sunbracers, mechanical changes. The original effect replaced with increases the duration of solar grenades. Solar melee kills grant unlimited solar grenade energy for a brief time. Oh my god. Okay.
Wow.
So you get what? So you get a solar melee kill, and for let's say 5 seconds, you turn into Sunsinger.
Yeah. No, that's actually, again, a good PvE perk. Not necessarily. Well, I mean, it could be helpful in PvP if you, like, say you kill somebody with a melee on a flag, and then you just want to hold down that area.
That's a really good change.
But it makes them, again, it's something that, like a lot of the exotic weapons, it gives you reason to use them now. Before, it was just like, oh, I have this in my inventory, but I'm never going to use it. Now it gives you a reason to at least try it out and you know, do something with it, rather than it sit in your inventory. So
right.
Better than nothing.
Yeah, I mean, that's crazy. No, it's really cool that they're doing that. I have a feeling a lot of people are gonna have a lot of fun with that. I don't know how much damage solar grenades does in things like raids, but that could potentially be very, very powerful. I guess it's just something we'll have to see. And they go on to say, while effective under some circumstances in terms of things like flat damage output with your solar grenade, some bracers don't feel flashy enough for gloves where your hands are perpetually on fire. So while retaining the original flavor of the solar grenade exotic armor, we've scaled up the potential output significantly to give the player a strong taste of power on a more frequent basis. That's pretty interesting. Good changes. Good all-around changes. I think the only useless one that I saw there was really the Dragon's Shadow. Everything else is pretty gross, and I guess I'll have to see like the actual statistics on the Dragon's Shadow to really make a final decision. So this is really interesting. I figured, so on the 29th, we get the update with the changes to Faction Rally. So I assumed that Faction Rally was coming next week. But this doesn't say anything about Faction Rally, so I'm not sure if that is the case, which is really quite strange because I really thought it would be next week. But honestly, that is the entire update. I know that was pretty short. Only 6 pieces of armor is all right. I guess there's not too many pieces of exotic armor in the game that really need huge looks at them anyways. So
I would say that they all should eventually get, just like they're doing with the weapons. I think they should get all masterworked, in my opinion.
Oh, no, definitely. I agree with that. What would exotic armor pieces even do? Like, just the same thing, giving you an additional?
Yeah, I would say they do the same thing as the raid, or the masterwork current armor, is give you more energy in your, not energy, but more damage reduction.
And maybe make them a little bit better. I see, it's harder because, like, weapons inherently have stats. So, like, if they're like, the Mida's already really strong, what do we do? Well, just throw Outlaw on it. You know, you can do that. On pieces of armor, though, you don't have stability, you don't have handling, you don't have these different things. It'll be kind of weird to see what you can kind of do with that. It's very interesting. If they decide to go down that road. I'm not sure if they will. But, yeah. Yeah, all right. Well, that's pretty much all the updates. A lot shorter than I figured it was going to be, but that's fine. They released it way later than I was expecting. All in all, a pretty solid update. Iron Banner's been a lot of fun. I already have all of the ornaments. A little bit disappointed about that. We'll talk about that in a video tomorrow, probably. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much it. Anything else to say about anything we talked about today, Jay-Z?
No, I mean, like always, recent, all good changes. No, not a bunch of apologies. So we're getting more positive and less negative. So always good.
I am interested to see what they do about the Iron Banner emote, how they address it, if anything. But other than that, Bungie's been on a super hot streak lately, and yeah, it's a lot of fun. All right, guys, I think that's going to be the end. Like I said, I know it was pretty short, but you know, if there's nothing else to cover, there's nothing else to cover. So I hope you guys did enjoy the stream. Make sure you go follow me on Twitter to keep up to date with new videos, new live streams, all that kind of great stuff. And Jay-Z, you can go ahead and do your thing, man.
All right, Jay-Z Basketball 25 on the Twitters.
Woot woot. All right, guys. Pretty good one yet again. I'm pretty excited. A lot of fun stuff coming. Like I said, this update is next week, so we get all these changes in a couple of days, which is pretty fun. But yeah, thank you guys for coming out today, and I'll see you in the next one.
Peace.